Right, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV. Back with another live stream. It felt like the appropriate way to start the stream. I can't lie. Crashimero, they're calling him. Kung fu kicking people and all that. This ain't Real Madrid, bro, and that ain't the Burnabout. I don't know if anybody saw the videos over the weekend of the toilets leaking at Old Trafford, man. Yo, listen, man. Listen. Ronaldo was right, people. Ronaldo was right. They got the worst chefs. Their toilets are a mess. Same gym equipment. Everything mash up, people. Crashimero, 4-match ban. Maybe he's going Brazil Carnival. Maybe he's doing a Neymar. Carnival coming up. Got himself a red card on purpose, man. I don't know, but listen. Let's leave him. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Theo Walcott was fast as lightning. Yo, I'm telling you, the Premier League's different, you know. Quadruple, they told me 2 weeks ago. They're going for the quad. Last week they said, nah, quad's gone, it'll be the treble. Treble's disappeared now. Now it's the double, apparently. The only doubles they're getting is if they go to a yard rave and get a double Ray and Nephew. They ain't getting no doubles. Relax. Take your energy drink trophy and leave it at that. Big up yourselves, man. Leave it to the big boys. Anyway, let me calm down now before I say something I regret, people. Although I'm shameless, I don't often regret anything. Trossard in the background. Just having a look for Man United's quadruple hopes, people. Hold on. Can't see them through my binoculars. Big up man like Bossard. How may I assist you? 3 assists. First Arsenal player to get 3 assists in the first half of the Premier League since one Cesc Fabregas did it a number of years ago for Arsenal. So big up man like Bossard running the show yesterday, man. The close ball control reminds me a little bit of... What player would you say Trossard reminds you of? A few people were putting comments. I thought he was a little bit of Haleb and a little bit of Arshavin. Some people are saying Cazorla as well, but I think he's a bit Haleb, a bit Arshavin. I don't know. Maybe a mixture of those two a little bit. Who would you... Santi Cazorla. I'm surprised with the... I suppose it's the close ball control, right? The close ball control and the two-footed ability. I was a little bit Haleb, Arshavin, a little bit of a mixture. Man saying Ozil, Cazorla, mixture of Santi and Nasri. Nasri's a good shout as well. Arshavin movement-wise. Stiff and sleepy version of Sanchez. Oh my days. Don said, Curtis, I enjoyed Jesus coming back then, missed a chance. Jesus! Yeah, that's the one thing he's got to add. Lundberg, that's a good shout. He's a bit of a mixture. He's a hybrid, I think we'll see it. A bit Arshavin, even Rosicki people saying. Anyway, either way, the boy is class. Let's put it that way, people. Anyway, let's start today's show. Big up everyone who's been supporting. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Big up everyone who's following on TikTok. We are live on there now, Curtis Shaw TV. I put up a video yesterday. They locked it off for copyright. I had to put another one up and edit it slightly. I'm a baby on TikTok, man, so just bear with me on there. We'll get there eventually. Anyway, let's talk about the mighty table-topping Gunners. Another great weekend. Liverpool popped their cherry in more ways than one. People went to Bournemouth. After the 7-up last week, beating Man U 7-0, it was cherry Coca-Cola this week. They lost to Bournemouth. Man United drew with bottom of the league Southampton. There goes that quad, right? There goes that quad. And obviously Arsenal won. Crystal Palace, I'm sorry, match fixing. I need match fixing investigations open this morning. What the hell was Elise doing giving that penalty away, man? I just don't understand what the brother was doing. Just ran up to Gundogan and kicked him over. I think Man City would have drew that game. Would have drew that game 1-0. A 0-0. What, drew that game 1-0? It's been a long weekend. I think they would have drew that game 0-0 if it wasn't for that foolishness. So I don't understand. If we're going to win the league, we've got to do it ourselves, man. Yeah, Pork Dread Elise moving mad. But we ain't going to get many favours. That is for sure, people. Let's quickly go over our game yesterday. And I have to say, yesterday, that first 45 minutes, despite the fact we missed a lot of chances in the game overall, and I've got to be honest, I think we should have won that game yesterday 5 or 6-0, to be honest. And I do think sometimes when you've got an opportunity to batter a team, you have to put them to the sword. Man United felt that against Liverpool. Liverpool 3-0 up could have said game over, job done. They said, nah, 6-7-0 you're taking today. I think Fulham should have been sitting at home today with a 7-0 defeat. But anyway, it is what it is. We done the job in the first half. The first half yesterday was one of the best 45 minutes of football I've seen at Arsenal this season, if I'm being honest. There's probably games where we've played in bigger games, so it was probably more meaningful. And people will say it's Fulham. But still, they've been in good form this season. They're doing all right. They could have been level with Liverpool on points yesterday if they'd have won. We absolutely annihilated them yesterday. Like, it was ridiculous how well we played yesterday at times in the first half. I think it was 23 passes for one of the goals. We could have scored goal of the season if Xhaka didn't play a back pass to Leno. Maybe he thought Leno still played for us. But it's serious what's going on at the moment. And a lot of our big boys, I think, are starting to turn the heat up in this team. Saliba and Gabriel, that partnership. Honestly, I don't think Arsenal have had a solid central defensive partnership since Kolo Touré and Sol Campbell. We had glimpses. I thought Koscielny and Vermaelen was going to be a good partnership, but Vermaelen was injury prone. Mertesacker and Koscielny, I mean, I didn't like Mertesacker. This is the first central defensive pairing we've been able to trust for a long time. And I think Gabriel, since the World Cup's been absolutely outstanding. He had mistakes in him before the World Cup. We were all hyping up Saliba. But this guy on the screen, Gabriel, has been outstanding. Left-footed, mid-20s. I think we paid, 30 million for him? 35 million. When you think Fofana cost 75 million and Saliba cost 27 million, our two central defenders cost about 60 million and some change. Fofana cost 75. Absolutely unbelievable how good those two can actually become as well when you think about the future. So, hats off to those two and their development. And I agree with Mishak, who said Gabriel could be a future captain. I think he could as well. Alfred, big up bro with a super chat. Seen a fan say Odegaard has done more here with the work rate. Has done more than here with the work rate. Let's get it right. Prime Ozil in this team with these attackers and Partey to protect. Lead would be over already. I mean, listen. It's something that we do in football, innit, unfortunately. When someone does well, we compare. First thing we do is compare. Odegaard isn't Mesut Ozil. And listen, I understand the comparison. Some people are saying already he's better than him. He works harder than him. Listen, prime Mesut Ozil was special. Saw that guy a number of times live. He was sensational. Who knows what level Odegaard can get to? All I would say is, at the moment, he's brilliant for us. Ozil was a fantastic player, a magician. He saw passes that weren't even there. But Odegaard, I would say at the moment, I think it's too early to say that he's better. What I will say, what he's producing at the moment, goals and assists-wise, I'm more than happy with him being there. I've got no problem. And the age he is as well, he can only get better in my opinion. I think Ozil had reached his peak at Madrid and kind of stayed there a little bit at Arsenal and then went down, where I think Martin Odegaard can still climb another level or two. So the prospect of how good he can be makes it even more exciting, I would say, you know. But big up Alfred. Odegaard will never be Ozil, still quality. I mean, different players. Similarities, of course. JY said, oi, Big C, we're here. Big up the community. Big up the whole community, as always. Gabby is rough. Saliba, the calmness. And that's what you need. That's the best central defensive partners. Gabby will go tight and have a battle with you. Saliba on the cover. Did anybody see yesterday when Dan James, the glorified Linford Christie, the Welsh Linford Christie, tried to knock the ball past Saliba, and Saliba was just like, all right, bro, where do you think you're going? Yeah, and just took the ball off him. I was like, bro, relax yourself. There's levels. Kev said he's going to be on tomorrow, so Kev should be on 2 p.m. tomorrow. Should be a good show, good vibes. So make sure you tune in for that one, people. Anyway, let's talk about this game. Player ratings will be nice today. Nice and easy. Lots of high numbers. I'll be moving like Robbie today. You know, Robbie, even I've seen games where we're losing and Robbie's handing out 7s and 8s. So I'll be moving like Robbie today. There'll be high ratings. So, yeah, big up to the Gunners and big up Robbie, of course. 12 shots for Fulham, 2 on target, 15 for Arsenal, 7 on target. For me, we should have won this game at least 5-0. But it is what it is. You know, we'd have all took 3-0 before the game. I'm going to be honest, I was nervous about this game. I thought Willian, Mitrovic, I thought this is going to be a tough game. Willian was out for injury. Mitrovic got absolutely pocketed yesterday, mainly by Gabriel. Do you see at the end where Gabriel just kicked him on the back of his calf, put him down, and I thought, you know what? That's my kind of centre-back right there. You got to do that sometimes, you know. Kick him. Just kick him, you know, have a battle. They'll do it to you. Do it to him. And what I liked about it was he didn't even get booked for it. He literally just kicked him to the floor. No booking. Superb. I thought Gabriel was absolutely fantastic yesterday. Let me tell you, I think he was our best defender. And I'm about that life. I don't mind my centre-back kicking someone if he doesn't get sent off. That's the game sometimes. They'll kick you. Natty said, Big C, you look like the BMF guy, Demetrius. Nah, man's coming for... I get these BMF shouts all the time. Go easy on me, people. Go easy. It's only Monday. I'm not even ready for that, Natty, bro. But big up yourself. Curtis Partey makes football look easy. The guy's a baller, man. I don't call him the general for no reason. They called him the octopus at Atletico Madrid because they thought he had 8 legs. He tackled people. He's a joke, mate. 45 million. If you keep him fit, you're talking about one of the best DMs in world football. Simple as that. You know. Here he is. Big up broski, man. Kev's in the chat. My machete is out, bruv. When am I on, Big C? Tomorrow, 2 p.m, Kev. Put it in the diary. Vibes. And you know, we'll have a good chat and break down what's been happening. Big up my bro, Kev, in the chat. Appreciate the support. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, 2 p.m. Me and Kev. And it'll be vibes. That is for sure. In the chat. Right, let's start off with Aaron Ramsdale. It's going to go up from here, I can't lie. He's the only player yesterday that I'm not going to give a high rating to. I'm not going to give him a low rating because he didn't do anything that cost us a goal in the end. Gave the ball away once. The guy tried to chip him, got away with it. Second time, bad pass, didn't get shot out of it. So I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to give him a 6. I think he was average. What I think with Ramsdale is, I mean, people saying he was bored, I hear you, and he did make a good save, is the best goalkeepers, for me, in my opinion, is the best goalkeepers, number one, have the best concentration, right? The best goalkeepers tend to play for the best teams. The best teams tend to get the least amount of shots put against them because they dominate the ball. And that level of concentration is what makes you one of the best goalkeepers. You might only have to make 2 saves in this game, so you might be bored for a lot of the game, but keep your concentration levels high. Don't make them silly mistakes on the ball. So you have to cut them out because on another day, that one can be a goal. But he did make a fantastic save. But I'm still giving him a 6. I don't want to see them It was a mistake that was unnecessary. It wasn't like it was a bad pass and it was a simple pass and a silly mistake. He still gets a 6. Made a quality save. It's a clean sheet. We sweep it under the carpet, you know. But in the Champions League next year, you can't be doing that because Benzema ain't missing that. You know, Vinicius ain't missing that. Lewandowski isn't missing that. So I'm giving him a warning. Kev's saying 7, but I'm giving him a 6. I'm a little bit more harsh. I can't lie. I don't want to see them mistakes. But we move. You know, we move. Let's go to the back 4. Let's go to... I would probably give both fullbacks the same rating if I'm being honest. I thought they were both probably a 7. Didn't have a lot to do. Zinchenko was class on the ball. In fact, you know what? I'd probably give Zinni a bit higher than Ben White. I'm just remembering a few little passes that he played. I would potentially nudge Zinchenko up to a 7.5, I think. I thought we dominated that midfield. I'm even tempted to move Zinni higher, you know. I gotta be. I'm remembering loads of little passes that Zinni played. Zinni might have to get an 8. Benny Blanco gets a 7 for me. I think he was quieter. 7.5 or 8 for Zinni, would you say? 7.5. Oh, Bonnet, we're in a good mood. Let's give him an 8. I'm giving Zinchenko an 8. I thought he played some fantastic passes. He helped us dominate that midfield. I thought he was fantastic. Came off to a standing ovation. Kev saying I'm being tight. Kev, we'll itch him up to an 8. We'll give him an 8, you know. Let's go to the 2 centre-backs. Saliba, for me, just pure class. He makes it look easy. Dan James wanted a 100-metre race. Thought Saliba was the guy in lane 8 who doesn't get a medal. Turns out he was like Usain Bolt, mate. No worries. Make this look easy. Saliba, 8 out of 10. One thing I would say about him, just please get the contract signed. I'll be honest, people, I'm nervous. I'm putting it out there, I'm nervous. Saliba needs to sign that deal quick. I'm sorry. Year left in the summer. You never know. Clubs are going to be looking. We're top of the Prem. Everyone in Europe will be looking. Get the contract signed. Get pen on paper. Give him 150. Give him 170. Give him 180, 90. If you got to pay him 200, pay him 200. Top centre-backs will cost you 80 million nowadays. Get the contract signed while everything is going well. I think he loves us, but we got to make sure he, put it on paper. Put it down on paper. Love him though. What a player. 8 out of 10. Amazing. Gabriel, best defender for me yesterday. I thought he was fantastic. I think we're seeing a leader. I think we're seeing genuinely, since the World Cup, one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. Kev said Saliba's going nowhere. If he goes somewhere, we're coming back to this clip. And the machete's out as well, Kev. But Gabriel, for me, gets a 9, people. I thought he was fantastic. Man said put a ring on it. Exactly. You want to keep the gal, she has to put it on paper. Sign that thing. You know what I mean? Gabriel scored a goal. Did the Van Dijk celebration. And then just kicked Mitrovic down to the floor. Injured him. And didn't even get booked. That's my kind of centre-back. I'm sorry. I felt over the years there's been times Arsenal, we've heard people like Ever and all them people, Arsenal are soft, Arsenal are babies. None of that no more, brethren. None of that no more. Yeah? We're tough now. You want to have a fight, we'll have a fight. Yeah? Favela settings, people. No ramping. He's got an afro. He's a different guy now. Last year, he was receding. The hair was disappearing. You know, it looked like the McDonald's sign at the front of the hair. It was all mad. None of that no more. Bang. Good hairline. Little afro. Cushion the header in. Bang. 9 out of 10. Love the way this guy's playing right now. Strong. Real strong centre-back. Best CDM. Best central defensive pairing I think we've had since Sol Campbell and Kolo Touré. As I said, the one that gave me hope was Koscielny and Vermaelen. Vermaelen was too injury prone. We ain't soft no more, people. We ain't ramping no more. He got the transplant. He got the HD cut shape up. Hard food. Yam and dumpling and banana at centre-back, people. Real strong people there. Let's go to the midfield. Granit Xhaka. Oh, Granit. Could be sitting here today talking about the goal of the season. That move was unbelievable. The dummy from Granit into Trossard. Trossard lays it off back first time. Granit Xhaka just slot it in the corner and I'm throwing the laptop out the window and reclaiming it on the insurance this morning. But he plays it back to Leno. Maybe he thought Leno still played for us. Oh, dear me. Do you know what, though? I'm not going to take it away from his rating. You see the little reverse pass that he played to Martinelli that nutmegged the guy. I know Martinelli was offside. But I'm still going to give Granit Xhaka an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a quality performance. Listen, and I say this over again. I'm very harsh on players when I don't feel they're good enough. Right? And Xhaka's been a roller coaster of emotions at Arsenal. But fair play to him for never hiding, for fighting his way through all the difficulties and becoming the player that he's becoming this season. I still think he should have serious competition next season. Whether that's Declan Rice, whether that's Caicedo, whether that's whoever, I still think we can upgrade. But fair play to him. That ball was fantastic. He's been such a better player with that freedom to get forward. So 8 out of 10 for Granit Xhaka. Thomas Partey. I mean, listen. As a young kid, I used to watch Thomas the Tank Engine. Dun 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 I'm telling you, we got Thomas the Tank Engine in midfield, man. The oils are wheeled, the tank is flowing, no injuries, no grandad jokes, no Indomie noodles. While Casemiro was doing kung fu kicks, I thought Jackie Chan was playing centre mid for Man United. The general was just, it was like a stroll in the park on a Sunday afternoon in Fulham, next to the river. You know, Atletico must be sitting there going, who the hell gave this guy a £45 million release clause? It's actually daylight robbery. It is daylight robbery now, I'm being honest. When he's fit, I think there's an argument that he's the best player at Arsenal. I'm going to be honest. Not everyone will agree with that. Some people will say Saka, I understand. I fully go along with that. But I would say when he's fit and playing like this, I would say he is possibly Arsenal's best player. He makes it look like he makes it look like it's a training session. It looks like a training session to him. Like, doesn't break a sweat. He was not the glamour player yesterday, and I kept saying it. When we were scoring, I was like, who won the ball back at the start of that move? Partey. Wins it, gives it. Wins it, gives it. It's like gold dust, people, to have a player like that. Can you imagine if Santi Cazorla had Thomas Partey next to him and Mesut Ozil had Thomas Partey next to him? That's the player we were crying out for 10 years under Arsene Wenger. He's outstanding. Like Kev said, it was a balaclava job. We ran in the Liga headquarters, slapped down the money, and ran out with him. 9 out of 10. Just keep him fit till the end of the season, and we've got a chance, people. Gonarola said Gabriel represents the end to Arsenal's soft era. He's committed, ready to scrap and get in the opposition's faces. Absolute warrior. No bozo gene. Trust me, man, we're strong now. Gabriel's on it. Xhaka's on it. Thomas Partey, the general. Saliba's a big guy. Zinchenko's strong. He'll get stuck in. We're different. We're different now, people. I told you, we ain't that soft team anymore. We can go to war if a team wants to go to war. You know, we're not them Evra's babies he used to refer to us as. Let's talk about Martin Odegaard. I mean, when he's not at it, sometimes I say, a bit flimsy and lightweight. But let me tell you, when he's at it, it's like I would pay the ticket price to watch him play. I got to be honest. When Odegaard is good, he is like sensational. The nutmeg, the goal, the flip flap. I mean, what do I say? It's a 9 for me, people. It's a 9 for me. You nutmeg a man like that, I'm sorry, mate. And then you're trying to flip-flop. I'm done. If Trossard didn't get 3 assists, he would have been up there for man of the match. I thought he was outstanding. The sun was out. We got the full solar guard. Trust me, the solar panels got the full sunshine on them yesterday. He was outstanding. The 10, I mean, some people saying 10. The nutmeg. The nutmeg. Odegaard is a player. I mean, Kev was a top striker. I was a striker. I'd like to say top striker as well. I'm shameless. Anyway, Odegaard is a player you look at as a striker and you think, I'd love to have him in midfield with me up front. He's one of them players you just make a run, he's going to find you. I think he's fantastic. I actually think he is having an outstanding season. I would go as far to say he's up there as the best attacking midfielder in the Premier League this season. Because I don't actually think De Bruyne's been as good this year. 10 Premier League goals, 6 assists in 26 games. Captain as well. He's on fire. He's absolutely on fire. What he needs to do for me, I need to see him turn up at Anfield when Fabinho's in his face. I need to see him turn up at the Etihad when Rodri's clipping him and De Bruyne's running at him. They're the games where I question him, but he's been fantastic. 9 out of 10, outstanding performance. The nutmeg, oh my days, out of this world, people. Let's go into the front three. Let's start with Bukayo Saka. I don't actually think Saka was great yesterday. I'm going to be honest. I don't think he was bad. But I don't think he was great. I would give him the lowest rating of our outfield players yesterday. One thing that I'm happy about is that Arteta took him off because he needs to have a break sometimes. So I'm going to give Saka a 6, people. Some of you might feel it was harsh. I don't think he was at his best yesterday. I thought he gave that left back, he let him off the hook a little bit. What would you give him? South London says 6. Salou says 5. Niraj says 6.5. Nimbo 6. George said Saka was tired. He needs a break. I mean, he ain't going to get a break. He'll probably start against Sporting because we need to win. He'll start against Palace and he'll probably start for England. DJ Sweet says 7. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. To me, 6 is average. 7 would be above average. I don't think he was above average yesterday. I thought it was an average performance. But listen, he 7. You big up Wasim. Nah, I'd give him a 6 yesterday. I'm glad he came off anyway. Get a rest. He got a few bad kicks. Kev's giving him a 7.5. Never needed to be great, but we relied on other players. Stop the tired business. Kev, this is what people are telling me. He looks tired. I don't know. But yeah, I hear you. He needs a game off. He looked knackered after the Sporting game last Thursday. Let's go to Gabriel Martinelli. I thought he was good yesterday. I thought he was better. Used his brain a little bit more. Every time you get the ball, you don't have to go into 5th, 6th gear, run at 100 miles an hour. Yesterday at times, you see we got overloads on that left-hand side. Trossard drifted. Martinelli, nice little passes down the side, hitting teams on the counter-attack. And Joel, I think you're spot on. I think that's the word. I think Martinelli was electric yesterday. I would give Martinelli... What would I give Martinelli yesterday? I would probably give him 8.5 yesterday. I'd probably give him 8. I don't think he was as good as Odegaard, who I gave a 9 to. But he was close. I'd give him an 8.5. He got his goal, used his brain, got his goal, could have scored another goal. He was a constant threat. He was a constant threat yesterday. 8.5 for Martinelli, another goal. And again, what I said at the end of last season about Martinelli and about Saka in particular was, we know the talent is undoubted, but wingers nowadays, the top wingers are getting strikers' numbers. Unless you've got a Haaland up front who's going to get you 25, 30 goals, your left winger and right winger, it's not like when you had Pires and Beckham and Lundberg and Giggs. Those guys were getting 4 goals a season, 5 goals a season. Didn't need to because you had 2 up front scoring 20 goals apiece. Now, the top wingers are scoring 15, 20, 25 goals. Mane, Salah, Sterling, Leroy Sané when he was here. You know, all these wingers. I know some of them have left, but... So, that for me was the thing that they needed to add. Now, Martinelli's got 12 league goals. If he can get 15 goals plus in the league, that represents a very good season for him. Saka has also got 10 goals, 9 assists. If he can get to 15 goals, 10, 12, 13 assists... They're the kind of numbers that need to be produced if you're going to win a title. So, yeah, good numbers, and they're starting to perform. Kev's on tomorrow, people. Don't worry. 2 p.m. is on. You know, make sure you're in. Big up Kev in the chat, though. And let's finish off with... Listen, man. Let me just... Can't see me face. Balaclava. Can't see me face. Balaclava. Hey, come on, people. Yo, I can't lie. When the Mudryk deal collapsed, I was emotional. I was. When we first got linked with Mudryk, I said, don't want him. He's playing in football stadiums with a car park behind the goal. Don't want nothing to do with him. But I did what every Arsenal fan does when we think we're going to sign a player. I watched 10 YouTube videos. What else do you do when you haven't seen a player play that often? And what I did, I convinced myself I really want this guy Mudryk because I thought we were signing him, as every Arsenal fan probably did. I saw the pace. I'm a bit of a pace merchant. I love players with pace. Pace destroys defences. When he went to Chelsea, I was gutted. But we got this boy Trossard in, who I was happy with. I was never upset with Trossard, but I have to say I wasn't gassed. I was just like, that's a sensible signing. I have to say, this looks like an absolute masterstroke for us. It looks like a masterstroke. It looks like we've ended up with the better player. Now, the reality is, Mudryk's in his early 20s, Trossard is 28. So you're going to get longevity out of Mudryk. But we did need somebody with instant impact. And Mudryk, as you've seen at Chelsea, hasn't acclimatised yet. Trossard looks like he's been at Arsenal he looks like his testimonial's coming up. He looks like he's been at Arsenal for 10 years. We were talking at the start of the stream. I mean, what player does he remind you of? A little bit of Haleb, A little bit of Arshavin. Some people saying Nasri, some Rosicki, some saying Cazorla. He is fantastic. His ability, his footballing IQ, his close ball control in tight spaces, and his ability with both feet. I'll be honest, I knew he was good. I didn't know he was as good as that. He's gone up to another level at Arsenal. I'm going to give him a 10. I'm going to give him a 10. Don't do it often. I'm giving him a 10 out of 10. Because 3 assists in one half. Okay, he didn't get the goal. But they could not handle him. He was unplayable at times in that first half. Popped up on the left. Chops the defender, whips it in. Martinelli, there you go. Sunday dinner. Put it on a plate for you. Goes past the guy again. Puts it in. Odegaard goal. There's another one, mate. How many goals you lot want? It was a joke of a performance. And then he puts the corner in for Gabriel. I mean, I tell you something. We're going to have some competition between now and the end of the season. Because that front three, I thought he was coming in to be a squad player. If Martinelli needs a rest, come off last 20 minutes for him. When Jesus reclaims that place through the middle, which I think he will in a couple of weeks, who on earth do you pick on the left? It's a great problem to have. Trossard, 10 out of 10, man of the match, Bossard, 20 million, again, daylight robbery. I've criticised Edu at times and he's deserved it. I've called him a glorified travel agent. But let me tell you something. We got a live one here, people. We got a live one. Just think Tottenham offered 12 million for him and didn't go back in with another offer. And we popped in with 20 million and said, come on, fella. Come and play for the big boys in North London. Try and win a Premier League title. I knew he was good. I'll be honest, I didn't know he was this good. He is fantastic. He's absolutely brilliant. The game intelligence, the IQ, it is high, people. 10 out of 10 for Leandrinho Bossardinho. Kev said Jesus can take his time, be ready for a big April. Exactly. It's took that pressure off now, where we would have probably rushed him back. E. Ross said, Curtis, when's the last time Arsenal have had almost 4 players with 10 plus goals? Trossard 8, yeah, if you take over his goals. In a season, this is a real team atmosphere and I'm loving it. As I've said before, we've seen seasons where Aubameyang's won the Golden Boot, Van Persie's got 20 plus goals, and we've achieved nothing because what happened was we started to solely rely on those guys to score goals, and we weren't getting enough goals from other areas. You saw with Man City last year, they played really with no striker and won the title because Mahrez got double figures, Foden double figures, De Bruyne, Jesus, Bernardo, they're all getting 10s, 12s, 14s a pop. And that will win you a title. So I think it's fantastic the way we're playing. And that we're getting goals from everywhere. Alfred said at 20, we was playing 4 or 5 games in a weekend at tournaments. People saying Saka is tired is a joke. These guys get ice baths, massage, best diet. I mean, listen, I agree. I do agree in the sense of it's hard to compare the games because of the intensity of the games and the amount of running they have to do in these games. But it's strange that, what I will say, at the end of games, he seems to have a look about him that he's tired. Maybe it's just a look. I remember growing up, people used to say, was it Chris Waddle? Kev, you all know better than me, but people used to say Chris Waddle always looked tired, like you needed to take him off, but it was just his demeanour. Last 20 minutes of every game, Saka looks like he's got concrete on his back. He can't run. He can run, but he looks like he's tired. It might just be the look and how he plays, you know. At that age, you would think that he could play a lot more and not look like that. Mentally tired? I mean, we're top of the league, surely. He shouldn't be tired top of the league. You're tired when you're 8th, and the fans like me are saying, get out of the club. That's when you're tired, not when you're top, and we're putting you on the green screens. Chris Waddle, yeah. I don't know with Saka. Maybe he just starts to look tired. He gets kicked a lot as well, don't he, in the game? I don't know. But I think he'll play most games between now and the end of the season anyway. Anyway, let's get back to let's finish off with the player ratings. Let's go to the substitutes before we get to the gaffer. Come a long way. We've come a long way, Mikel. Who would have thought I'd been calling you the gaffer a year ago? I was calling you different names, that's for sure. But definitely not the gaffer. Let's talk about the substitutes who came on. Nelson and Tierney. I don't really... Nelson went on a couple of runs. Good to see Kieran Tierney back in the side. For sure. As I said, I don't want to see him leave at the end of the season. I think if you go into the Champions League, you need to try and have 2 quality players in each position. And I don't want to see him leave. So it was good to see him come on. I give them both a standard 6. Vieira, Tomiyasu came on with 10 minutes to go. Standard 6, I think, for all the substitutes. But I'm going to finish off with the final substitute, people. He's back. I mean, I don't know why, but... Well, I do know why. But did any other Arsenal fan... Was you just not smiling when you saw Gabriel Jesus come back on the pitch yesterday? He's been out for so long, it kind of don't even feel like he plays for Arsenal. It's like we signed him in January and I was like, what? Who's this guy coming on? I was like, yo, Gabriel Jesus after the international break. Give him some minutes on Thursday. Give him some minutes on Sunday. 2-week international break. Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus, 3 Brazilian players. They've all been left out of the Brazil squad for the international games coming up. I'm absolutely delighted with that. Even though I'm a little bit disappointed for Gabriel Magalhaes because I thought he might start with Thiago Silva getting injured. But I'm delighted to have those 3 at London Colney, no travelling, have a few days off. Let's get Jesus fully fit. Let's get Smith Rowe fully fit. That's a 50, 60, 70 million pound player who we haven't had all season as well. So you chuck Smith Rowe and you chuck Gabriel Jesus into this Sunday Dutch pot. And I'm telling you, it's bubbling over. Everything's going mad in Mama's kitchen, people. Let me tell you. So I'm excited by what I'm seeing. Gabriel Jesus just made me smile yesterday. Should have scored, I gotta be honest, but we'll let you off. You've been out for 3 months, but I love the little touches. You see what I love about Jesus, and I hope this doesn't come across as slander towards Eddie, right? But what I love about Jesus is he looks after the ball so well. When the ball goes up to him, you just know he's going to look after it. And I think the best strikers look after the ball. Touch, give it, move it, get back into the area. Yeah, I think he can score a few more goals. But I just think he's a fantastic player. And I think he's the leader of our attack. So I'm going to be biased. I'm giving him a 7. Because 7 is what Man United lost last week. And we haven't forgot just because it's a week later. So I'm still giving Gabriel Jesus a very biased 7. Just because I love the sharpness. Big up Fran in the chat. Hope you're well, bro. Good to see you had a video out this morning. Finally. Go and watch that on FFTV. It might encourage him to put more out. Let's finish off with the manager. 3-0. I mean, what do I give Arteta for yesterday? I'll give Arteta a 9 for yesterday. I'll give Arteta a 9 for yesterday. The football was outstanding. I'm tempted to give him a 10, to be honest. I'm tempted to give him a 10. I'm going to give him a 9. The only reason I'm not giving him a 10 is because I would have liked to have seen us won that game 5 or 6-0. If I'm being honest. And that's not his fault. I'm going to give him a 9.5. It's not his fault that we didn't. Because as Kev said, it is the players, Curtis. It is the players. But I just wanted to see a ruthlessness that, all right, go on. We're going for 10. A lot of you saying 10. A lot of you saying 10. No, I'm giving him a 9.5. I am. I'm giving him a 9.5. I'm harsh, people. He'll get a 10 when we beat, City and Liverpool and them teams. I don't hand out 10s easy. But it was a great managerial performance. He picked the right team. We won the game. People saying 10 for the hair. See, you're convincing me with that. The hair was good. The Brill cream. He had the Brill cream on. Oh, take it. Just take the 10. Just have it. Take the 10. Why not? It was awesome. Wenger regenerated yesterday. The football yesterday was va-va-voom. It was je ne sais quoi. It was just beautiful to watch. It was like... you'd pay to watch that and enjoy that. I think we're playing the best football in the Premier League at the moment. You're right, Kev, after Thursday. I think we're playing the best football in the Prem. I watched all of that Man City game against Palace. It was boring. Don't get me wrong, as a purist, you've still got to appreciate what Man City do. They move the ball. They play so many passes. I'm not saying, of course, it's Man City, it's Pep, they're brilliant. But I think we're far more exciting than they are because we hit you at speed. I don't think Man City have the pace that we've got. Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, Odegaard can move the ball quickly as well. I just think we're a bit more electric than them. But is that going to lead us to the Premier League title or not is the question. There's a long way to go. People keep asking me, say it, are we winning it? I'm like, I'm still playing it down. I'm just saying, just relax. One game at a time. People have to understand, to win this title, you've got to beat a machine. Manchester City are a machine. I don't think they're as devastating as they were a few years ago with Sané and Sterling and Aguero. I think that front three could rip you to shreds at any moment. But they're a machine. They win. As I said, Haaland is just a robot who keeps scoring. So there's a long way to go. We take it game by game and we make sure we get the job done. As Kev says, yeah, Thursday. Listen, for me, I think the Europa League is very important. I do. What I don't want to see is Arsenal just throw that competition away. We're in a situation where we could win 2 trophies. We haven't won a European trophy for, I think, nearly 30 years. Nearly 30 years since we won one. And a Premier League for 18 years. So we're not in a situation where we should just be dashing that trophy away. Few days break, light training sessions, go on Thursday, get the job done. Lisbon, one of their centre mids, and Coates in defence, both suspended, 2 of their starting players. Get the job done, beat them, get in that Europa League draw on Friday. We'll be doing a live stream for that. Unless we're not in it, then I'll be going nowhere near it. And then Sunday, we play against Crystal Palace. Now, Palace on Saturday against Manchester City were absolutely shocking. But you just know they're probably not going to be as bad as that when they come to the Emirates. Zaha, big Arsenal fan. Vieira, former Arsenal player. He's under pressure. His job's on the line. They're going to try and hit us on the break. But what we can take out of that is that they're out of form. They're not playing well. If we can score early against them, I think we can pump them as well. Manchester City don't play in the Premier League now until after the international break. So if we win on Sunday against Palace, we're 8 points clear of them going into that break. Yes, they'll have a game in hand, but I would always take the points over the games in hand. I'm not interested in games in hand. Give me the points, right? No Sambi, he won't be able to play. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Sambi ends up at Palace, to be honest. Yeah, spill the beans, Sambi, mate. 5 wins out of 5 for Arsenal. After that little wobble that we had, Brentford, Everton, Man City, that's how you respond. That's the way you bounce back. To come back, if we get the job done on Sunday, you're talking about 10 games. 10 games to win the Premier League. 5 points clear, 8 points clear if we win. It's all to play for. It's going to be exciting. That's all I can say. It's going to be a roller coaster. I just hope. People ask me every day, do you think we're going to win the league? I'm like, all I just say is, I hope so. They're like, no, just say it with chest. I say, I can't do it. I want to. In my head, I can picture all of it. Monday afternoon, the bus is going by the Emirates. Odegaard's lifting it. There's 1 million people outside the stadium. We're having a party out there. I can see it, but I have to stay calm. We still got to go to Anfield. We still got to go to Etihad. Still got to go to Newcastle. Still got to play Chelsea. Big games. It can all change like that. So we'll see. After the international break, Man City's first game is Liverpool. Please be the Liverpool that battered Man U, not the one that just lost to Bournemouth. So there's a long way to go. Anyway, people. I love the mentality of the manager and the team. Trossard said every game is a cup final. Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that they are now talking about it. They know it's a possibility. They've known all along, but obviously the manager didn't want to talk about it, but they're talking about it now. I love that. Believe in it. Everyone's got to believe in it. Vesco said, Big C, when are the My Manager shirts out for sale? Do you know what? A few people have been saying that. I think if we win the title, the merch has got to drop the next day. We're getting the merch out. My manager with Arteta. It has to. It has to. Shameless settings, people. But anyway, 11 games to go. And it's going to be exciting one way or another. That is for sure. Anyway, let's talk transfers because, of course, top of the league and flying high. We're an attractive proposition now, people. It ain't like before, you know. She didn't want to give the number before, right? You know what I mean? She didn't want to talk to you, giving you that cold shoulder. Now, you know what I mean? She's messaging you now. You know, top of the league, your attractive proposition now. So they want to join us now. They want to play for us, which is much better than when Vlahovic was ignoring our phone calls, people. Declan Rice, we spoke about this briefly yesterday, and we'll probably mention this guy about 45 million times between now and the end of the summer. But Jacob Steinberg, who, as I mentioned yesterday, Jacob Steinberg writes for West Ham. He did Mark Noble's autobiography. He's very well connected when it comes to West Ham. Gets a lot of inside info and inside scoops. He writes for The Guardian. And he put out a quote yesterday saying that as far as he knows, it's almost certain that Declan Rice will join Arsenal. Now, we can't take it as gospel truth. We've heard things from journalists before. Oh, this guy there, this guy's going, blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't happen. But he's saying with a lot of chest that Declan Rice to Arsenal is happening. The only other destination was going to possibly be Chelsea. But Chelsea have offered a new 2-year contract to N'Golo Kante. It was believed he was going to potentially be a replacement for Kante. So we've spoken about it a number of times. Do you know the thing that's a little bit, well, I won't say disappointing, but saw some highlights of Declan Rice against Villa. And he didn't look great. And last week, they obviously lost 4-0 to Brighton. And Caicedo ran all over him last week. So I don't know. Is he the right one to go for? It seems as if Arteta likes him. I'm sure there will have been conversations between Declan Rice and Arsenal. Of course, listen, he's friends with Saka. It keeps him in London. We're playing fantastic football. We can see the way we're developing young players. It's a no-brainer. Even without being biased, if you're Declan Rice right now and Arsenal want you and Chelsea want you, you're going to Arsenal. Chelsea, their manager could get sacked. They've got 35 players. Todd Bowley thinks he's playing football manager. They're not really developing young players. Well, a couple, Reece James and that. But, you know, they could be in the Conference League next year, playing against Wetherspoons on a Thursday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Not even on TV, playing with a flyaway football. We'll be in the Champions League, mate, Tuesday night. Mbappe, Messi, Neymar. I know who I'd want to play for. So, listen, but I'm not going to completely write him off because a lot of West Ham fans, they say to me, listen, this guy is fantastic. He's in a team that is poor. They've been poor this year. There's no way they should be in a relegation battle. David Moyes playing dinosaur football. And I think he's suffering. You know, he starts for England. He looks better when he's got Bellingham and he's got Saka and he's got Sterling and he's got Kane and all these quality players around him. So I'm going to let him off by saying he's in. Sometimes you suffer in a poor team, unfortunately. You know, he's early 20s. He's a leader. He doesn't get injured. We spoke about this the other day. The amount of football that he plays is one of his biggest strengths. You know, 36 games out of 38 last season, 32 the year before, all 38 league games the year before, 34 league games the year before that. At the most, he's missing 6 games. He's played 26 this year as well, so out of 27. So I can see why Mikel Arteta would want him. I can. And we need energy in midfield. We need runners. We need leadership. He's powerful as well. And at the end of the day, Xhaka's 30, Thomas Partey's 29, El Nenny's 31, Jorginho's 31. We have to bring younger midfielders in this summer. So, listen, I'm not going to cap. I do like Caicedo, right? I do. I do like Caicedo. But if you get Declan Rice this summer, I see it as a positive. I see it as a positive. Premier League experience, you know, lives in London. The adjustment period should be very simple. So, According to reports, West Ham want 100 million, but they've accepted he's going to go for around 70 or 80. He's got a year left on his contract this summer. No inkling that he's going to sign a new deal. And I think he's going to go. So, as Kev said, man, curried mutton and rice settings, people. Him and Thomas Partey in midfield or whatever the combination. Rice, Partey, Odegaard as a midfield three. I think that gives you real quality. You've got two powerful players that can both play, that can move, that can protect, that can get forward. And then Odegaard can go and work his magic. So, Rice and Bellingham, I mean, listen, I don't think we're going to drop that kind of dough. That's 200 million. I think Bellingham ends up at Liverpool. Can you imagine Rice and Caicedo in the summer? I mean, that would be incredible if we got both of them. But it'd be a lot of money. Jay Black said Declan is definitely a Xhaka replacement. No way he can do what Partey does. Caicedo for that. It would be interesting what role he would play for us. FT said Rice is overrated. Would rather have McAllister in that left 8 position. Another player we've been linked with, actually. A lot of people are being linked with McAllister. I do like McAllister as well. Maka said, sorry, Big C, if Chelsea make the Champions League next season by winning it, they will get Declan Rice by blowing Arsenal out of the water. I can safely say now, and I don't often commit to things like this, because anything's possible in football, but I'm pretty confident Chelsea will not win the Champions League this season. I'm going to be honest. And they've got a chance because they're in it, and if the draw favours them, anything can happen, but I don't see it happening this time. I don't think Graham Potter is going to get the better of Ancelotti, and I just don't see it. I don't. But stranger things have happened. Jashar, big up, bro. Locatelli, Dusan, Mudryk, Tielemans and Rice. What are you saying? It's another one to the list that we'll talk about and might not happen. But we'll see. We'll see. I know I've said it now. They've clipped it. I leaned on it. If they win it, I'll be in trouble. But I don't see it. Napoli, Bayern, Man City, Real. I can't see it. I just can't see it. If it happens, fair play. I'll hold my hands up shamelessly and I'll probably go into hiding if they win the Champions League, because I definitely don't want that to happen. But listen, 80 million, it's a lot of money, but English tax, Premier League tax is going to be expensive. So, yeah, we'll have to see on that one, people. I personally think it's going to happen. I think Declan Rice joins Arsenal this summer. Daily rice, people. Rice and peas. Curried mutton and rice, jerk chicken and rice. Or is it just plain rice, people? How do you like it? Anyway, let's move on. Couple more stories before we round up. Don't forget, I'll be on AFTV with Laurie at 5 o'clock. Make sure you tune in for that. I'll be back on here tomorrow, 2 p.m. with Kev. Big up Super Kev, who's been in the chat today. I appreciate the support. We'll have a great show tomorrow. It'll be vibes as always. Following Balogun, or Flo Balogun as we called him. Scored again yesterday for his team in France. 16 goals now. Second top goal scorer in the French league. Only behind one Kylian Mbappe. And Inter Milan and AC Milan are very keen on signing Arsenal loanee following Balogun, who has 16 goals in Liga so far this season. Which, listen, man, he's having a fantastic season over there in France. And I can understand why clubs are desperate to get him. You know, he's what is he, 21? Arsenal are going to have a big decision to make this summer. Because there's two situations that you have to resolve here with Balogun, right? Number one, he's got a year left on his contract this summer. You can't allow him to run into that, right? And that also reduces the amount of money that you can get for him. Second of all, if you've got Jesus, you've got Trossard, you've seen what he can do through the middle. You've got Nketiah, who the manager obviously loves. He gave him 100 bags. Is Balogun going to commit to a new contract to Arsenal if he feels like he's far away from starting? That's the second thing you've got to do, is convince him he's going to get football. And then after that, it's, do you cash in on him? And then how much can you get for him? How much can Edu go to the transfer market and say, this is what I think Balogun is worth? Because I'm telling you now, if Balogun was a French player and he wasn't on loan from Arsenal and he was 21, second top goal scorer in the French league, you'd pay £70 million for him. Standard. Look at strikers. He's got more goals than Jonathan David. Jonathan David's being linked with 50, 60 million pound moves. He would cost you 70 million. But Arsenal have shown over the last few years we're not amazing at selling players. It's one thing that we do need to address and improve on. So, Amara, bro, apologies. I've completely missed your super chat. I've just strolled back through to try and find it. Just put the same comment in as a normal comment. I can't see it anywhere. I did just see your comment and try and find it. Maybe it's so far behind. Have I found it? No, I can't see it. I can't see it at all, bro. Just put a normal comment in. I'll read it out. As a super chat anyway, bro. So listen, we got a decision to make. Do you give him a new contract on big money and say, listen, I mean, someone just said there, what would you do? Now, Sheldon, what I would do, I'm giving him the new contract, right? Because you need to protect yourself. I would convince him that, listen, I mean, the problem is, I've always said that Balogun, I thought, had more potential than Eddie. And I stand by it. He hasn't played in the Prem yet for us, so we don't know. But unless somebody pays me massive money for him, if somebody offered Arsenal 50 million plus this summer for him, I think Arsenal would sell him. I'm not saying I would. I'm just saying I think Arsenal would. I would keep him. I would keep him. The striker market in world football right now is very, very weak, especially for players in their early and mid-20s. A lot of the best strikers are getting older now. You know, you look at Lewandowski, Benzema, Suarez, Cavani, Zlatan. A lot of the best strikers are in their mid-30s, late 30s. Cristiano Ronaldo. To have a striker of that age, I think... Jashar said, maybe there's a one-year option as well then. So maybe it expires next year with a one-year option, so 2 years. So yeah, there's no rush then. You keep him. You take him on tour, pre-season. You see how he looks around the team, and you keep him for me. Unless somebody drops a fortune on the table, I'm keeping him. And I'm going to be totally honest, and I'm sorry, and people don't like it. If he looks good in pre-season, then Eddie would be... There's a potential for a sale there for me if somebody paid enough money for him. I'm going to be totally honest. Because I think he could be better than Eddie. Obviously, if Eddie... Arteta would probably not want to sell Eddie. That's the only problem. Oliver said keep him and sell Eddie. Eddie out, Balogun in. Sell Eddie. Must not sell him. Flo is the real deal. Loan Eddie and sell him in January. I would hate to hurt his value. I think if we keep Eddie and follow him next season, one of their values will get hurt. So buy to Eddie. You got to look at this summer. Balogun's value is going to be as high as it's been in his whole career. Because unless he gets injured, he's scoring 20 plus league goals this season in the French league. So you should be getting big money for him if somebody comes in for him. And I'm not sure AC Milan and clubs like that would actually pay big money because they are quite struggling with finances at the moment. So, yeah, we'll have to see on that one. But hopefully we keep him, bring him back for pre-season and let him go. And I'm sure he could learn a lot of Gabriel Jesus as well. I think the way that Balogun has been managed is the reason that I believe he can be ahead of Eddie and Nketiah, because I still look at Eddie and I still think there is an immaturity in his game that is due to the fact he hasn't played a lot of first-team football. Balogun went on loan to Middlesbrough in the Championship, went up north. It changes how you are, you know, when you go on loan. You've got to grow up. The Championship is a hard league to play in as a young player. He's then gone to the French league. Good experience playing against Marseille and Lyon and PSG. And he's took it, you know, by storm with the amount of goals. So for me, get him back pre-season, let him learn with Jesus, extend his contract, and let's hope, you know, he hits the ground running when he comes back, man. Alfred said, new contract and be straight up with him. We will loan you to a Prem team next season for game time, and by the next season you can be Arsenal's next striker. Yeah, well, listen, whatever you do, you've got to convince him, you know. Boo said, Big C, can you do a shout out for my brother Joe? It's his birthday today. He's probably here in the chat. Big up to your brother Joe. Birthday blessings. Appreciate the support. Tarun said exchange for Liao plus 25 million. That wouldn't be bad business. Ex-Kun said, thank you yesterday, Curtis, for what he said about the passing of my cat. We won, and that was a real mood lifter. Much love. Big up to you, bro. Thoughts to you and your family. And Ketty would bag goals in League One. Possibly, but we can only go off what is actually happening. We can say Eddie would bang goals in League One, but Balogun is bagging goals in League One. So, you know, that's factual. That's possibilities. Kev said sell and put the money towards Osimhen. Now listen, you know I would love to, but 100 million to get Osimhen out of Napoli, you got to move serious. That's more than a balaclava. You know what I mean? You got to move militant to get Osimhen out of there. You know that Napoli chairman, he wants cash on the table, big bags of cash as well. Imagine getting Osimhen. But they're the levels we got to aspire to next year, people. Champions League. Any big name that is in a position that we want to strengthen, we should be looking for them. And that means we should be looking at Bellingham and Osimhen and top draw players like that. But we'll see what happens. Long way to go. Let's see if we can win this title. Listen, thank you very much to everyone for tuning in. We've been on for an hour. Nearly 3,000 of you in the chat. 60 odd on Twitch as well. Big up the whole C unit. Big up Kev in the chat. Thank you for supporting as always, bro. Don't forget, I'll be live with Kev tomorrow, 2 p.m. Make sure you keep it locked. It'll be good vibes. As usual, I'll be on AFTV today at 5 with Laurie. Tune in for that. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on TikTok as well, Curtis Shaw TV. And I will see you all tomorrow, people, at 2 p.m. Take care, everyone. Bless.